Hello and welcome back to another live stream. My name is Christian Golick. I'm a video content producer, and in today's live stream, as meta as this is, I'm going to be talking about live streaming and my process on how to do, I guess, a typical live stream, although that almost doesn't exist, a typical live stream, because there are so many different requirements and different ways about doing a live stream. So I have my system. I think everyone has their own system as well. So I'm going to kind of break down a few different ways to live stream. The super basic, easiest way, a kind of middle of the road, a what I call professional, but in reality it's not like top of the line professional. This is professional on the individual level, not the, ESPN sports, live news, action covered. Like, that's a whole different level of live that just simply is not attainable for the single content creator, the small team, the small business, the entrepreneur, solopreneur. Like, that is not within our grasp, nor should it be. We don't need a giant production to communicate with our audience. We just need the tools that we have, and maybe a few more, depending on what meets our style. So before I kind of break down how to get into the live stream, I want to talk about why. Why even live stream? Why are we doing this? Why can't we just pre-record and post later? Well, you can. I think live stream has some benefits on like different levels. So I guess we'll start out in the reach area. The reach, I also don't, oh my gosh. My neighbor's house is getting renovated right now, and it's just been, for the past couple of days, just hammering and the saw's running. I don't know if you can hear it. I can. So first we're going to talk about the reach that you can get with live streaming, and that just comes to the platforms like Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn now. They want to promote live video because live video drums up engagement. So you can post a video and it'll just appear in the feed. Or you can go live, and LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, doesn't matter. They will all push your live video to the front of your followers' pages because they want you to get that engagement. They want the views. They want the runtime. Another reason why video is so popular on social media is because you can read a post in a couple minutes if it's a long post. You can look at a picture for 30 seconds maybe, and even that's generous. A video, if you capture someone's attention in video, they're going to be with you for a couple minutes or however long the video is. With live video, I mean, you could go live for like 5 minutes, but most people don't. Most people have a live stream that are 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half hour, even longer. I personally don't think I could do a live stream longer than an hour. But yeah, so all these social platforms know that, and they promote that. So that's a great reason to do live from a reach standpoint. Another, and this is why I really enjoy live, another reason that you want to do live is it's a different atmosphere. It's a different atmosphere than pre-recording, because when you pre-record, it's like, okay, let's set up the cameras and set everything up. Oh my gosh, can you hear this hammer? Please, let me see. Sounds great. Thank you, Parker. I appreciate that. Can anyone hear the hammering? It's so obnoxious. So what I really enjoy about live streaming is there's just a different energy in the room. Recording gets kind of mundane almost because I know I'm going to edit it. I know that I can just do another take because, there's always a better take. And it kind of just slows the whole process down. Whereas, and I mean, there's certainly a time for recording and editing, but when it comes to just like getting your message out there, getting your expertise out there and just like get it done, you got to get it done. Live is really good because you don't have the ability to edit. You don't have the ability to do another take. So it's good just to get it out there. And I really enjoy that. This is probably going to be my most involved live. I don't know. I feel like I always say that because I'm pushing the envelope well, maybe not each time, but I'm certainly like trying to increase the production of my live streams. And what I'm going to be doing in this live stream is, of course, breaking down the how-to on a couple different levels. And to do that, which I do this for myself, just to like envision it in my head, I write down diagrams. I just draw up diagrams and it just helps me like map out, okay, this is point A, we're getting to point B, but we need to do this and then have this in between and this goes out of there and that input. It gets a little hectic if you're just like only doing it in your head. So I like to get it down on paper. I like to write it down, and that's what we're going to be doing on this live stream. You like that? All right. So let's start out with really just the most straightforward way to live stream, and that is with your phone. So we'll write this one out. So let's start with our destination. And I put that in red because red, like you're live on air, it's a pretty standard live color, red, fun fact. So it doesn't matter. This could be Instagram, this could be Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever platform. You're live. You're out on the air, except really it's on the web. You're not on the air, but you're on the web. So super basic. You have your phone. You open up Instagram per se. Well, yeah, I mean, let's go with Instagram since that's, really only a phone app. You open up Instagram and you hit the go live button and your phone communicates wirelessly and goes live. So the blue, I'm kind of like color coding, like blue is network and the dotted lines are wireless, and red is your live, and then black is pretty much everything else. So this is, really, this is it. Super easy. And you know what? If you just need to get on camera and you got something to say, go for it. By all means, it works, it's quick, it's easy. Just like, let's get perfectionism out of the way and just get your message out there. It's a great option. It's a great option. I personally like to amp up a little bit of production value. Obviously, it's my craft, it's what I do. So it's just like wired in me to push the envelope to make a better production. So while this is great for a lot of people, I want to do something a little more advanced, not super advanced. Like this is still still pretty easy. This is going to be like middle of the road type production. So as always, let's start out with our output, our destination, live. And we are going to go live on our computer. It could be on a phone, but if we're gonna put a little effort, into this live stream, it's probably best to do it on a computer. So we have our computer, our output, our live, but this is the intermediate. I'd call it the intermediate step. We are going to use a third-party streaming service, and personally my favorite is StreamYard. StreamYard is an online service that you pay for monthly that you are able to go live, and it offers some nice features that you don't really get with the basic setup. But it's still just really like plug and play, click this button, okay, I know it's going to put me on screen. Click that button, okay, we're gonna cut to something else, which I will show in the diagram. So let us connect some dots here. The computer connects online to StreamYard. StreamYard connects you to YouTube Live, Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live, whatever. So that's our chain here. But what's cool about StreamYard and other streaming services, the middlemen, is you can bring a guest on, and they as well connect to StreamYard, which is sweet. And then you can also add some media, and let's say, I don't know, we want to show an introduction. Intro video. I kind of feel like my marker is running out of ink. That's not good. We're going to make it through. So our intro video, you can tie that in to StreamYard as well. And you control it all through the computer, like your main computer. So on StreamYard, you can have yourself, you can talk to a guest, you can throw in video clips, and within StreamYard, it mixes it all together. You are able to control which guests you bring on, which videos you play, and then it just goes out to your platform, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. So that's pretty much like okay, we're amping up production value. We're still keeping it pretty simple. StreamYard is a fantastic service. I don't exactly remember what the monthly fee is for it, but it is well worth it if you like to do live on a regular basis. It's a great program. So this is intermediate. Let's see. You can definitely tell easy beginner. Okay, let's step it up a little bit. So now let's take this one step further. And before I do that, I want to read this question over here. Hold on. I just bought a webcam to help with this method. Anchor is working, a good looking one. Oh, the brand Anchor. Yeah, nice. Yeah, the Anchor webcams. I mean, I don't own it, but I know Anchor is a good company. I've really enjoyed some of the products I've bought from them. I haven't actually purchased any like webcam, like a designated webcam to sit on my like screen. I actually rigged up something a little extra with my old Sony camera that I just don't use anymore. I kind of rigged it up so now that's my webcam, which is definitely over the top, but well, suits my personality. So let's go to the pro stream, the pro for like what we're doing here. The small business, the very, 1-2 person crew, not the pro ESPN level productions. Though, we're not talking about that. This is within our grasp, pro. So I always want to grab the black marker. It's just like instinctive. All right. Again, we have our output live. And now, let's see here. We have our computer, but there is a step in between here, and it's not something like this. It's not software-based. Notice it's in blue. We are going to run a program on the computer called OBS, and that's a part of the computer. OBS stands for Open Broadcasting Software, and it's actually free, which is kind of the wild thing. It's such a powerful piece of software. It's what's operating this live stream right here, and it's completely free, which is, you really can't argue with that. So I enjoy using it, and it gives you just a ton of flexibility. It's certainly the most intimidating. I know when probably like the first 5 times I opened it, I was like, how do I do this? How do I work this? Because it's just like, just a different process. But after some YouTube tutorials and playing around and then kind of trying it out, and also actually going live, my early days of going live, not that they were that long ago, but those early days where I had, fuzzy video, or the audio was cutting in and out, or it was just working out the kinks, understanding the program more. So I'm still learning. I think it's such a broad and expansive program that there's always something to learn, but I do feel like I have a decent grasp on it. So I'm on my computer. I'm running Open Broadcasting Software. And that streams wirelessly to our output. In this case, it's YouTube Live. So now, what can we do with this? Well, we have the ability to add in camera, plural. Either one camera if you want, or like I'm doing right now, a multi-camera. And there are a few different ways to do this. There are well, I'll just explain in the diagram. So we have our camera, Z, and that's great. We also can bring in audio. We can bring in Zoom or Skype, or really any other video conferencing platform. Skype is actually the best with OBS, and I'll briefly touch on that in a little bit. But really, Zoom works, WebEx, whatever you want. You can play media. So videos, you can have videos play, which I've actually played, past couple of lives. When I have a video example, I actually have that pre-recorded video loaded up into OBS, and when it's time to play it, I, click on the video and it plays for you. So you can load in, video, media, photos, and the list does go on. You can do screen capture, I definitely feel like this marker is losing its, not good. I also wish I had a skinnier one, but oh well. So all of these, oh yeah, that's not good. We might have to switch to a different color. But all of that can link into the computer, and you can kind of choose which one you want, and then that goes live. So let me show you an example of what that looks like. This is the interface of OBS. And this is very bare bone. You can do a lot in here. I don't have a lot loaded up just because I'm not going super in depth into the program itself. But to give you an idea, you can, and this is the built-in webcam on my laptop, which looks terrible. Please avoid using your built-in webcam. Like on my MacBook Pro from 2012, just avoid it. It doesn't look good. So right here, you have different scenes, and in each scene, you have different sources, and this is where you can really customize what you put in. So right now, this is just super basic, where I have my webcam, which is what you see, and then the laptop mic, which you don't actually hear right now. You're hearing the good audio from my microphone, but this is picking up through the internal microphone on my laptop. This is picking up my voice, as you can see in the audio meter here. So just these two, you have audio, you have video, and I put that in the video scene. But you can also do a screen record. So this is my desktop, but I also have my face in the corner here, and I can move this over here. I could move this in the middle if I wanted to. I could put it here. You could literally do anything you want with it. Or I could just hide it. I don't want to see my face anymore. Okay, now I want to see my face again. Now, again, this is super basic. You can do a whole lot more with OBS. But that is just a very basic layout of what it is. But it is particular. It is choosy. Or rather, you have to be intentional with it. That's a better way to put it. You have to be intentional. So, see here, with this scene, I have my audio in here because I added it. If I hide it, take it away, there's no more audio. If I was streaming, no one would hear me right now. Bring it back. Okay, we hear you. If we go to the screen record, I did not add my audio in. Let's just say I forgot to. No one would hear me. So I have to go in and add audio input capture, laptop mic, and now people can hear what I'm saying. So when you're making your scenes, you have to be very intentional. And then I can just do a little fade to black to end my stream if I'd like. And yes, there are plenty more options. So that is OBS in a very, very light nutshell. So that offers you a lot of flexibility. And kind of going back to what I was saying about being intentional, there's a lot of ins and outs that you have to be aware of, and that's actually why I diagram a lot of my live stream setups, because if I don't, there are so many like little tiny details of like, oh, well, this channel of audio from that camera is only going through this way, but it needs to go that way. Like, so many little things that you can miss. So diagramming them out is extremely helpful. And I'll do one more, well, maybe one more. I'll definitely do one more diagram that I think articulates this decently. But again, live streaming gets pretty hectic the more you add on. So I hope this makes sense. Let's do this. All right. So this is our, let's see. Can we so we got our super basic, which is a great option. We have middle of the road, which offers a decent amount of control and is pretty user friendly. And then you have the most control, but of course is the most to maintain. And this is our pro setup, our intermediate level setup, and super basic. So we're gonna be feeding off of this. We're gonna kind of zoom in on this process. So we're focusing on the computer. Our output, let's just call it, is the computer. So to connect everything to the computer, there needs to be some translation. And what I mean by that is cameras and microphones have their language and computers have their language, and they do not speak the same language right away, so you need a translator. And the translator happens through USB devices. So, you know, you could either have something, will this focus? There we go. Have something like this to get your audio, translate it to a computer, or have something like this to have your video translated to the computer. And some cameras actually have software that you can basically translate natively. So you can plug your camera into your computer, run some software, and your camera will speak to your computer, no problem. And from there, you just take your camera, load it up into OBS, it sees it as a video source, and you're good. Some cameras don't have that software, and I think mine might, but it's like not very good. I use Sony cameras, and it's okay. So I actually opt to translate, I guess, manually through adapters. So what I do is these cameras they can output their video signals through HDMI. So an HDMI cable, like this one, this super short 6-inch HDMI cable, this is what you plug in to your TV. You got your Roku, you plug it into the side of your TV, and you have a video signal and audio. So what I do is I take a video signal out of my camera, and then I plug it into one of these, and this is an HDMI to USB converter. So the video signal comes in here, video signal in, and then this goes into the computer, and now the computer will see my video. Load it up into OBS, and we're good to go. Now, there are a few different ways to do this, and I won't get into every single detail because there's a lot of details, and I don't want to make this live stream 5 hours long. So let's cut back to our diagram here. We have our computer and USB. That's connected to the computer. This is what we want to convert everything to. So let's say we have our camera. Now we can connect it using the adapter CamLink. That's this guy. This is just the brand name. There are other adapters to take your camera signal and convert it to USB. So this one is CamLink. It's a great adapter, but there's only, will this focus? There we go. There's only one HDMI port. So you can only plug in one camera. Like, that's it. But what if you want multiple cameras? Well, you could get, let's see, let's do, we have A cam, B cam, and C cam. So we could get, since there are 3 cameras, get 3 different cam links and plug 3 cameras into 3 USB ports that go into the computer. That would work. That would definitely work. And that would offer you some decent flexibility once we're in OBS. But now I'm thinking like, well, I'm only going to use one camera at a time. It's not like I'm going to put all 3 cameras on screen. I just want one camera at a time. And that is where you can get other adapters, other USB adapters, not the CamLink. You could actually get, and let me zoom out here. This guy, this is, and I'm not going to move it because it's actually hooked up to what we're doing. This is made by a company called Blackmagic. It's called the Blackmagic ATEM Mini, where you can plug in 4 different devices or cameras, and then it has a USB adapter that sends it to the computer. So this does the work to translate camera talk to computer talk through USB. And I can choose which cameras I want to use. And the third input is actually my laptop, which isn't a camera technically, but it can take your laptop feed as well. So that's my overhead camera, my main camera, and my laptop, all through one USB device. So if I zoom in again, if I zoom in, instead of getting three USB cam links for cameras A, B, and C, I can just tie all of them in to Blackmagic BM. Oh, that's kind of hard to see. And that goes into the USB, into the computer. So now you can cut between different cameras all on one USB source, which is actually pretty handy because the more USB sources you put into your computer, the more your computer has to kind of process everything. And especially if you have some not so powerful laptops or computers, it could be a little much on the computer and you could start to lag. And so it's not good to, put the load all on the computer. With this, I'm putting 3 input sources, and this hardware, this box, is doing all the hard work, and then just sending one USB to the computer. And answering a question, what cameras are you using right now? I am using 2 Sony A7 Mark IIIs, both using HDMI outputs. So I'm getting two clean feeds. This has the wide angle lens on it so we can see the whole table. Let me zoom in a little bit. And then this one is pretty much just fixed on, the tripod is actually on the table, so I try not to shake the table too much. But yeah, just two Sony A7 IIIs, HDMI outs, and then my MacBook Pro HDMI out as well, all going into the switcher, which is just really easy. I love this switcher. It makes my life so much easier. So we have our camera situation figured out. We could either plug one camera into the cam link, we could plug a couple cameras into the Blackmagic, and we have it into our computer. Now what about audio? Well, HDMI signals can carry audio as well. So right now, let me see. Right now, these are our main buttons, but we have buttons here, and that actually controls the audio. So the microphone I'm wearing is actually hooked up to this camera. That camera is plugged into channel 1. So, and here I'm gonna turn this off. You won't hear me for a quick second. But once I turn that on, now I have audio again. It's sending audio through the Blackmagic ATEM Mini switcher. But what if I want to bring in just an audio source that is not hooked up to a camera? Well, luckily there are a ton of little adapters like this, which this is for the microphone. This is actually for headphone, if you want to listen to what your input is. and then that connects to USB. So this would be in a category of its own. This little tiny little plug here, which you can easily pick up for a couple bucks on Amazon, which is amazing. And that is a USB device to which you can put into OBS and control. So now the question kind of becomes like, well, within why are we adding so many sources, and why do we need so much control? Like, why can't we just, okay, I get the switcher, you have a couple cameras, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Like, okay, that makes sense. And I have my audio going in, so why can't we just call it a day? And you could. Absolutely you could. In fact, if you just wanted to use the switcher, with audio, take that and put it into StreamYard, you could, and that would work great. And to be honest, that's actually like, you're kind of getting the best of both worlds. You get the multicam, but you get the ease of use from StreamYard or any other third-party streaming software. But when you start to have multiple, multiple people around you, or multiple sources that you're sending out to, that's when you really need the control that OBS offers, so that you can take all your input, your sources, your cameras and your laptops and your media and whatnot. You can take that, live stream it to YouTube, while also playing it back on speakers or an external monitor, like a screen. So, you know what, we will do, what time we got? All right, I'm gonna cap this out at 1 o'clock, but we got some time. Ask some questions in the comments, and I'll try to answer them before. I'm looking at my actual streaming computer, not what I have on the desk here. So let's yeah. So let's zoom in. And I'm gonna actually tell you a story, or it's a story. A job that I'm going to do, a live streaming job that I'm doing in about a month for a wedding. I'm live streaming a wedding. I'm gonna break down a little bit of what's involved after my drink of water. So what's involved in this wedding is, of course, live streaming it. And I believe the groom, his family lives in Australia, and they can't travel, so they're in Australia. So they're having a little wedding party themselves, but the groom is here. So they're having a wedding. The bride's family is, in the area, but the couple, they actually live in California, but they're getting married in New Jersey. So essentially, they have a lot of people, on the West Coast that want to watch, but they can't be there. We have the groom's family in Australia, so they're going to be watching. I don't even know what time zone it's going to be for them, but that's not my issue. So we have a lot of people watching. So, okay, I just set up my cameras, do a little multicam of the ceremony, no problem. Do a little multicam of the reception, no problem. Have my camera set, cut to camera 1, cut to camera 2, YouTube Live, no big deal. Here's the kicker. During the reception, since the groom's family is all in Australia, his best man is also in Australia. So for speeches, the best man wants to give a speech on Zoom. So this is going, the broadcast is going through YouTube Live, but Australia, because they're having their own little party, so Australia, the groom's family, is going to be zooming in, and that Zoom has to go on the live stream and also at the same time played live on a screen in the reception for everyone to see. And it has to go into the DJ system so everyone can hear. So I have to take this signal, this Zoom, and incorporate it in a few different places. Excuse me. It's a lot. That's why OBS is my preferred choice, because I have so much control into mapping out, okay, my cameras are going to go here. The family on Zoom will see this camera. The people watching live on YouTube will be on this camera, and then we'll hear them. And let's map this out. And I'm not going to map out every single detail because it actually gets to be quite complex, but we're going to give the gist of it here. So we're going to have two computers. We're going to just draw boxes. So this is, my MacBook Pro, and then my Mac Mini. So I'm going to have two computers here. My handwriting is not great, but whatever. So the MacBook Pro is going to be doing Zoom. The Mac Mini is doing OBS, which outputs to YouTube. So we have our cameras. Well, yeah, so we have two cameras. Let's call this A cam, and then let's just call this B cam. A cam and B cam go into the Blackmagic switcher, what I'm using right now. But I also need to split that signal into Zoom so that the people on Zoom can see what's going on. Like they're going to see the couple. So, and we also have, let's just call this TV. And this is going to be the TV that, the guests who are actually in the room, they're going to see this. They're going to see the TV. So this Zoom signal, let's draw some arrows as well. Make this a little easier here. So this Zoom needs to come out, and it needs to go to the TV as well as OBS. It needs to go into two places, which is no problem. You can easily pick up an HDMI splitter to, duplicate the signal. Not a problem. That's easy. You can pick that up on Amazon for a couple bucks. So no problem there. But now I have A cam and B cam going into the switcher, which can actually take up to 4 it can take up to 4 inputs. So you would think, well, let's take the Zoom MacBook and feed that into the Blackmagic. Kind of like what I'm doing right here, where I have this laptop, HDMI into the switcher. Problem is, oh, there's my screensaver. Problem is, I can only cut to one camera at a time. But they need a split screen in OBS for YouTube. And this is where that control comes from, where I need two different capture devices, 2 different USBs, kind of like what we were talking about here. I could do the Cam Link or the Blackmagic and the Cam Link, which is what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to use this as well and pretty much use the Cam Link to input into OBS while also having the Blackmagic input into OBS as a second USB source, so that in OBS I can take the 2 videos, put them on the same screen, you know, kind of do like this, except not signing in the corner. It would be something, you know, like this, although this is really yeah, down and dirty example here. You know, it would kind of look like this. I can't do that with just one capture device, with just one Blackmagic. I need 2 different USB sources. So there's that aspect. Now, what about audio? And again, I'm not going over every single detail, but we have our DJ, which has speakers so that everyone who's in the room, who's watching the TV, can also hear the Zoom speeches going on. So the HDMI that's taking this Zoom feed into OBS, that also carries audio. So OBS is good. We're good on that, no problem. But now I need to get audio from here to here. And that's where, you know, this little guy comes into handy, it comes in play. Plug this USB in, and you see how it has a headphone output. Now I can send audio to the DJ of just the Zoom. I'm not sending audio from the cameras because the cameras are already in the room. Like we don't need audio from the cameras. We just need audio from the Zoom to go to the DJ. That's something you can't do in StreamYard. That's not anything you can do in the basic live stream setup. That is, and I mean, that's again, a very zoomed out perspective of all the logistics, but that is just some of the power that OBS has that sets it apart from, something like StreamYard. Now, does that mean OBS is the ultimate tool and you should never use anything else? Absolutely not. I love the simplicity of just going live. It's fantastic. I have personally been a guest on people who use StreamYard, like with my good friend Paula Rizzo, who interviewed me a couple weeks ago. She uses StreamYard, fantastic. And she's not a tech person, but she was controlling the angles and the full screen and the graphics and the intro. Like, she controlled it all, and she did a great job. And she's not a tech person. She wasn't trained in this. That's the power of this middle of the road, if you call it. That's the power of this live stream setup. Offers good quality, pretty easy to use. If you need the control, if you need the complexity for a very specific situation, OBS is your go-to. So no one option is the best. They all serve their purpose, and I just support going live in general because for me, I just like getting my content out there. I like just doing it and being done with it and moving on to the next thing. Perfectionism kills progress, and you can't be perfect on a live stream. You just do you, and that's how it goes. So at this point, let's see, checking if there's any extra questions. I don't see any, but I do really enjoy all the questions that are in there throughout the stream. So I don't particularly have like a list of recommended equipment like this and whatnot. I don't have it. I don't have a pre-made list of this stuff. But if you want to, get this stuff, if you want to ask me for my recommendations on, do I get this switcher? Do I get this cam link? What about this little guy? What about the HDMI splitter? Like, if I want to do this type of stream, what do I need to get started? Reach out to me, email me. You can contact me. Go to christiangolic.com and put your email in, and you'll actually, this is not live streaming related, but this is from a content perspective. You will actually need a microphone, lights, a tripod. You need that stuff unless you're using your phone. But actually, even if you are using your phone, you'll still need lights and a microphone and a tripod to make good video content, the quality of video content. So I actually do have a list, which you can get for free at christiangolic.com. I call it the Entrepreneur's Video Survival Pack because it is, pretty easy to use, bare bones. You actually use your phone as the camera with the accessories like my favorite light, tripod, microphone, and all that. So you can actually get that list at christiangolic.com and then, put your email in, and then you can email me with any questions you have regarding live streaming or really just video in general. Hi, bro. Hi, bro. I didn't read your name. My computer's a little far away, but I see hi, bro. Hi, bro. With that, I appreciate everyone taking the time. And this has been a really fun live stream. I really enjoy the multicam aspect. This is, it's fun to add some diagrams and add some visual medium into the stream. Just makes it that much more fun. Hopefully that much easier to understand in this vast world of live streaming that can get pretty complicated, pretty confusing pretty quickly. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, reach out to me at christiangolic.com, and I will see you all in 2 weeks for my next live stream. All right, take care, everybody.